Pep Talk UK, Pro Beez. Delighted for the first time to interview a familiar voice. You hear him on the shows when he repeats the surname twice. And he's really graced the UK. He was announcing skills. Ring announcer, Diamante. How you doing?
Pro Beez, how are you, buddy? Nice to see you.
I'm doing well, you know. I'll give you some of that London hospitality, introduce myself. But you being American, I kind of wanted to get some perspective on a big fight, not over here, but in your home country.
Okay.
Manny Pacquiao, 8 division champion, versus Keith, one-time Thurman. What do you reckon?
Got the all-time against one time.
One time.
Or as some people would say, once upon a time. You know, both guys, incredible fighters. I'm going to be honest, I don't really like this fight. I'm going to tell you why. I just don't like seeing a guy at a certain age taking shots. I think that it's a really good fight. I think Keith Thurman is a fine fighter. Obviously, Pacquiao's a legend. But when a guy hits a certain age, I mean, I just don't want to see the guys taking punches. You know, we saw Zab Judah recently.
Against Sheldon.
You know, and against Cletus Selden, and
yep.
I don't like seeing guys at a certain age fight. But that being said, I think Pacquiao's probably the favorite in this fight. Keith Thurman, after the surgery, does he have that one-time power? I don't know. Look, I'm going to watch the fight, but it's not the welterweight fight we all want to see, which is, of course, is Spence Crawford. That's you know, we want to see. Look, after Mayweather retired, we want to see supremacy at 147. And if you're going to get that, that's going to be with Spence and Crawford right now. Not even Porter. And Porter's great. He's got the WBC, but it's really about Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford.
Yeah. It's getting harder now to get an undisputed champion. I mean, a lot of these fighters on different networks, different promoters. But I mean, we're hoping for that Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. We're hoping for that fight. I mean, how optimistic are you?
I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen because the fans are the ones that need to make the calling for this. Because you just said it, it's nothing new. The networks, the sanctioning bodies, you know, the promoters, people are at different odds. People don't want to fight on this network. People don't want to fight for this and fight for that. But and that's one thing that I like about this card, and to bring it to here. I mean, we got 9 fights in this card. We got 5 heavyweight fights, 5 title fights. But the titles, it's not really about the titles. I mean, look, you know, you got Duffield and Aziz for the southern area. But it's a pride fight, man. There's a lot more at stake than the titles. And the same with Reactor and Chris Billiam Smith. I mean, there's a lot more on the line than the title. And, you know, it's a Nixon-Hill fight. Both guys 9-0 with 8 knockouts. There's just so much more on the line. So back to your question talking about Bud and Spence, it's like the fans need to ask for these fights if you want them to happen. Because the fans are the ones that should dictate what happens.
But again, with the fighters, when they think about taking certain fights and it doesn't quite work out, I mean, you see Anthony Joshua with Ruiz Jr. I mean, okay, the pugilist would say it was a tough fight, but to the casual fan, it should have been, you know, AJ all the way, straightforward. And a Deontay Wilder versus AJ fight probably isn't going to happen now.
I mean, but I think that's a negative way of looking at it. I think that fight could absolutely happen. You know, but this is the thing. Boxing is the theater of the unexpected, and I think Larry Merchant said that. And but it's really true because you just don't know. And you know what? If we did, why watch? I mean, that's why we watch, because we don't know who's going to win. That's why we watch these fights. So it's great that a guy like Andy Ruiz won, because it really stirs up the pot. You know, the landscape of the heavyweight division right now, it's all over the place. So it's great to see these kind of things. And now the rematch, there's so much interest.
Oh, wow.
The story becomes better. It's like if AJ can rise from the ashes, from being on top of the world to being at the bottom to now coming back up. I mean, there's a lot to that. So, and I think that he can beat Ruiz, but he has to fight a certain fight. Ruiz is a very tough fighter. We all know that now. I knew that before. Many of us knew that before, but like you said, the casuals might not. But it's not about the casuals. I mean, people can think of what they want, but if you do the research on your stuff and you watch these fighters and you watch these guys come up and you know their backstories, you know what it is. Again, to talk about, you know, this show being an album show is what I called it. It's an album show because it's like back in the day you got that great album and you listen to all these tracks and then you flip the record and you listen to the B-side. So this
hip hop. hip hop.
It could be anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It could, you know, any type of music. But you listen to the A side and the B side, and you read the liner notes, and that's really what it is. The casuals, the guys that listen to those one-hit wonders. You know, they buy the single, and they just listen to one song.
Which English fighter, a British fighter, have you been particularly, as an American, being impressed by?
There's a lot of them. I mean, Joshua Buatsi and tons of guys. You know, look, Dalton Smith is on this card here. Thunder. You know, top British amateur, now in the paid ranks. It's great to see him. I mean, he was supposed to fight in Liverpool. That got canceled, of course, but now he's on this fight. You know, the Fitzy Fowler fight, you know, the Price Allen fight is great. Of course, Dillian White, great British fighter. There's tons of great British fighters. Tons.
All right. It's been a pleasure. And I'll see you fight, Nate, and I'll just conclude with your own style. Diamante.
My man. Take care, guys.